talk to you. We've got the CCM Flashback, and today you are featuring the Archers.
That's right.
And we've gone back, way back to the mid-'70s on this one.
Yes, this one goes back to 1975. It's a song called It Wouldn't Be Enough. And from what I've read, I don't think I knew this when I first started prepping for this, but I finds out this one actually is more or less been known as their signature song over the years.
You know, it's amazing when I think of the Archers. For some odd reason, all I ever think about, or the only one I ever think about, is Steve Archer.
Yeah, I can see why that would happen. He had his own solo career for a while and still does some solo concerts from what I understand.
I thought for a moment we were on satellite.
Haha.
We had that perfect pause in there.
Right, right.
Well, I mean, how long was the family together?
The family group was around, from my understanding, from 1971 through 93. And from what I understand, it was first kind of just Steve and Tim together, just kind of singing in church from their dad's church and that kind of thing, from what I understand. And then eventually became the group. And they're one of those ones that was toward the start of the CCM music, which was then known as Jesus music. And they actually got to be invited to and perform at Explo 72, which you and I have talked about before.
Right.
Down in Dallas, Texas, Waco. I think it was Dallas area, I think, actually, now that I think about it.
Interesting. I never got comfortable with the term Jesus music. I don't know why. I just never did. For some reason, it sounded like it didn't sound right. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm not sure who coined that phrase to begin with, but that's really how it started with this group and a few others back in the day. And like I said, they were there at Explo 72. They were, not to be a name dropper, but they had some good influences helping their career along in the start, such as Mr. Pat Boone and the one and only one of your favorites, Andre Crouch.
Wow.
And in fact, they put
I
their...
never pictured the Archers starting way back then.
Yeah. Yes, they've been around for a while toward that early start of what we now know as CCM. In fact, they did their own version of Jesus the Answer that I'm having trouble finding me a copy of, but I'm going to try to find one just to compare it to Andre's original that I'm so familiar with.
That would be interesting. I'd like doing that.
Yeah, I do too. It's kind of interesting to hear somebody else's take on a classic song such as that.
Well, what's interesting is that so many musicians, so many CCM artists will remake a secular song into a Christian song, like Bloody Grace with, what's the name of the song? Sing a song. They remade the Earth, Wind & Fire song, and Mark Farner remaking some kind of wonderful.
Right.
People that remade these things. So it's interesting to hear somebody remaking another Christian song.
That's true. And I'm finding out also, like I said, some of this information I didn't even know until I started doing some prep for this particular weekend, talking with you today. But I understand the original group was Tim and Steve Archer, Nancy Short, and Billy Rush Masters. And then after Masters and Short departed in '77, that's when Janice Archer came on board. And it's more or less been the three of them ever since. In fact, I was going to tell you too, if you didn't see this online, is the Archers are going to be appearing with Farrell and Farrell and Evie in a CCM reunion concert coming up starting this month, I think October 21st, I want to say. So maybe that was even last night, starting in Franklin, Tennessee, and I don't know what other cities are going to be in besides that, but that's pretty exciting that some of these groups are still around and alive and still playing music live and everything. So I'm anxious to hear what other cities they might put on that tour.
Now, are you going to try to attend that?
Oh, I'd love to if I could, if it gets close to me. I haven't seen the rest of their lineup to see how close they're going to be to where I am, towards Springfield, Illinois. I'd sure like to if I had the chance to.
Yeah, that would be excellent. I mean, Farrell and Farrell. I played, I think the song's called Jump Up.
Right.
I play that every now and then. And talk about taking you back to the beginning of what would be called contemporary Christian music.
Right.
It's funny, you hear it, and it's definitely dated. But it's a pretty cool song. So you don't hear from Farrell or hear about Farrell and Farrell as well.
Not as much. Cheryl Kagi is actually on that bill as well, and she was pretty big in the CCM scene when I was in Christian radio still, back in the early 90s, mid-90s. So she's on that as well, and maybe she's helping to kind of bridge it a little bit forward into the music scene a little bit more than the Archers, going all the way back to the beginning in '72 or so.
So what song are we going to feature by the Archers?
This is called "It Wouldn't Be Enough," and this is, like I'm finding out, their more or less their signature piece. And this is probably one of their songs that's been the most recorded by other people too, I'm finding out. In fact, that's where I first heard of it. I heard of it through a vocal ensemble from Moody Bible Institute back in 1980 when they cut that song. Their group was called the New Disciples, and they were a group that traveled for the school and would tell people about the school and of course minister in song that way. And some of their contemporary songs included this one and Rise Again from Dallas Home. So I heard a lot of these from that group first before I even knew the original performers.
Wow. All right, well, let's go to the songs from 1975.
Yeah, listen good to the lyrics here. Like we've talked about before, these are some of the earlier Jesus music songs, as it were, and like we've said before, I just think these are kind of deeper spiritually and scripturally and some of those kind of things, and I just love the words of this song. So I hope our listeners take note of those and see how that kind of is so sincere in those lyrics.
All right, Steve, the librarian, Ericson with today's CCM Flashback. And Steve, thanks so much for being a part of today. And we'll talk to you next. Oh, you'll be gone next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out for 1 week there, going to some reunion events at my college, Olivet Nazarene University, toward Kankakee. But hopefully I'll be with you the next Sunday after that.
All right, Steve, we'll talk to you then.
Sounds good.
All right, here's the Archers. It wouldn't be enough.